So welcome to the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce 2020 Virtual Awards. And we're going to start off tonight's proceedings with some live music by my friend here, Steve Robb from Wayland. And yeah, I'm going to hand over to you.
I'm just for wintertime and I'm just for summertime.
That's a very good point, actually. Yeah. Enough of that anyway. Hand over to you.
Thank you, everybody. This song is called Coconuts. When I smell coconuts, it nearly drives me nuts. Thinking about the palm trees in the shade. Life on this tropical isle, it really drives me wild. Guitars and drum beats serenade. There's no point arguing between a rum and gin. Whatever's in the cooler works just fine. And she really drives me wild with that tropical smile and the way her hand holds mine. Forget the world outside, the fresh air and the sun and sky. Just enjoy the sand beneath your toes. Is it time to swim? You better count me in. Just let me slip out of my clothes. Tell me that you'll never leave. Tell me that you'll never change. Look me in the eye, kiss my nose. We live a life of harmony, with colors swirling in the breeze. Libation and love always flows. Forget the world outside, the fresh air and the sun and sky. Just enjoy the sand beneath your toes. Set a little vitamin D. Live a life that's so carefree. Immersed in the colors of the rainbow. When I smell coconuts, it really drives me nuts. Thinking about the palm trees in the shade. Life on this tropical isle, it really drives me wild. Guitars and drum beats serenade. Guitars and drum beats serenade. Guitars and drum beats serenade. All right, got one more. This song's called Over You. I'm lost and I'm found, square and I'm round, up and I'm down over you. I'm right and I'm left, full and bereft, clumsy and deaf over you. When you pass me, my head spins around like a fool. In the halls of high school, I'm black and I'm white, bright day, dark night, blue as the skies over you. It's not easy this time to fully define my genuine love for you. When you're near me, my heart nearly explodes inside. Impossible to hide. glance falls my way, it brightens my world. You're a beautiful girl. Your opal eyes, a lovely prize, blue as the skies over you. Red lips form your smile, kisses beguile me so much that I'll be true. When you touch me, my body rings out like a chime. Please tell me that you'll be mine. That you'll be mine. That you'll be mine. That you'll be mine.
Welcome to the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce Annual Community Awards Ceremony. I'm Charlie Dunn, and I am the branch manager of Northern Bank and president of the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce. As with everything in 2020, we have had to improvise the presentation of these well-deserved awards. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We expect this ceremony will take about an hour, and we look forward to an in-person celebration in 2021. I really hope. Traditionally, the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce presents 4 awards: Business of the Year, Business Person of the Year, Distinguished Service, and Citizen of the Year. This year, we have added 2 other categories: a Special Life Achievement Award to a Distinguished Citizen and a Memoriam in Sudbury Strong to recognize an exceptional contribution to the community during the pandemic. I want to thank you all. In order to get to the awards, I urge you to check out our website, sudbury.org, to see the programs and services offered by your Chamber of Commerce. Our trademark event is the annual 4th of July Parade, run by board member Mike Hamill of Hamill for Hire and his great team. This is funded by the Chamber members who purchased the banners you see along Route 20. To our loyal members, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And to business people new to the community, we invite you to join us for our monthly meetings and other activities. Membership in the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce is just plain good business. On behalf of our members, we purchased and presented to our winners a beautiful celebratory gift basket from Duck Soup, which is owned by the 2018 Business Person of the Year, Luis Mawini. Lastly, I want to recognize and thank the Board of Directors, all of whom are volunteers who work hard for the Sudbury business community. Special thanks to Chamber VP and Awards Chair Martha Welsh, who leads our annual awards effort, and to board member Stuart Beebe for producing tonight's presentation. It is now my real privilege to introduce Jack Colamaria, Senior District Executive of the Boy Scouts of America Mayflower Council, to accept a Special Life Achievement Award in memory of Al Williamson, an extraordinary Sudbury resident who passed away in August of this year. Jack?
Thank you, Charlie. I'm honored to be here for the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce Annual Awards event. I'd like to thank the Chamber for selecting Al Williamson, who passed away this year after battling cancer, with the Lifetime Achievement Award of Service to the Community. Al Williamson's volunteered countless hours to the Sudbury community and the Boy Scouts of America. Al was born in Waltham, Mass., the youngest of 5, joined Boy Scout troop at age 11 in Waltham. When he was 20, he became a Scoutmaster of Troop 248 at Piety Corner Club in Waltham. As a Scoutmaster, he helped 10 boys attend the rank of Eagle. He started his own pest control business in 1971 as he didn't want to work for another large company. He and his wife, Teresa, who were married for 50 years, moved to Sudbury in 1972 and raised 3 children, Jennifer Campbell, Jay Williamson, and Jessica Smith. When their son Jay was old enough to join Scouting, they chose to be a member of Troop 61 Sudbury. Al took on many jobs in that troop. He mentored more than 30 Eagle Scouts in their projects, which were completed all over town. One project most particular and dearly to Al was when he worked on some stone wall at the Wayside Inn, which still remains there today. Al volunteered, was a board member of a local Scout Council, and served in many positions, and he helped to raise funds for Camp Resolute in Bolton and Knobscott Scout Reservation in Sudbury. Al would come up with an idea after talking to the camp rangers on what was needed. He would take that project from beginning to end with the primary task of fundraising. Al's accomplishments included a new basketball court, bat boxes to cut down the mosquito population, new mattresses and tents for summer camp, dehumidifiers and air conditioners for a training classroom. And his latest project was a memorial area completed last year to honor other volunteers who gave to the scouting program. Al was always raising money for something. If you owned a business in Sudbury and you saw Al walk through the door, you knew you were about to donate to his latest project. It was not a yes or no, but how much. In scouting, Al received many awards: a National Conservation Award, the Silver Beaver Award recognizes local scouters for exceptional service, the Order of the Arrow Founders Award, which was voted on by youth to recognize members who gave an incredible amount of service, which is spirit of service, selfless service. Al's proudest moments were when he watched his son, Jay, and then his grandson became Eagles. Al never made it to Eagle. He was one rank short as a youth. Al's family did not support his efforts and he had to get a job. After listening to this, you might think the only service Al did was for scouting. Al loved to volunteer at the Sudbury Senior Center. He worked on events like the St. Patrick's Day dinner, the Valentine's Day dinners, all the celebrations, voting days. He enjoyed many programs offered at the Senior Center and took up watercolor painting, and cooking. And this painting turned into a hobby. Al was a basketball coach for many years in Sudbury. He was presented with the Frank G. Feely Award by the Parks and Rec Department, which is given annually to Sudbury residents who reflects Frank's high ideal of dedication in sports and community. Al loved the 4th of July parade, and he's dressed up as Uncle Sam to walk in it. I wish I'd personally known Al for a longer time. He had certainly left this legacy for us, for all to enjoy the fruits of his effort. Al will not be forgotten in my lifetime. We want to thank Al for his years of service to the community and present this award to Al's wife, Teresa. Teresa and the family are watching tonight and by video conference, and it's my great pleasure to accept this award on Al's behalf. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jack, for that presentation. I knew Al personally, and he will be greatly missed, and our hearts go out to the Williamson family. So now, to kick off the community awards, I turn to awards chair Martha Welsh. Martha.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. It's my privilege now to introduce you to Donna Moy Bruno of Results Realty, a fellow board member, to kick us off with the business of the year.
Hi, everyone. If I polled this audience, I bet many of us have enjoyed a coffee with friends, a sandwich, or a special dessert at Sudbury Coffee Works at Sudbury on Union Avenue. We are pleased to recognize Sudbury Coffee Works as the 2020 Business of the Year. Daniel Ken brought his business 20 years ago and offers delicious homemade foods and a wide selection of coffees from around the world. Like many in our community, Sudbury Coffee Works stepped up to solve COVID-19 community issues with creative use of resources. Last spring, when the supply chain was failing to deliver groceries, toilet paper, and other consumer needs, Dan offered these items to the community through his suppliers. Coffee Works has long been the center of activity for other community outreach efforts, and Dan Ken gives back to Sudbury, supporting local causes and sports teams. Loyal patrons of this local business nominated it with words of high praise and appreciation. One nominator said, Daniel Ken is a modern day silent Superman. I am very pleased to present this Business of the Year award to owner Daniel Ken, who is accepting live from his restaurant. Dan?
Thank you very much, Donna. That's much appreciated. I remember back around mid-February to March thinking, what a great first quarter this has been. There was very mild winter, and that really ties into business in the restaurant industry. And then all of a sudden, a tsunami hit, and it hit us all. It was just, the only word I could think of to describe it is breathtaking. The dominoes, the effect. And I remember going to the supermarket after seeing several Facebook posts about shelving being emptied, and I didn't believe it. And then I went in there, and there were people with just cartfuls of everything you can imagine, and there was just nothing there. There was no paper goods, there was no meat products, canned goods, everything was wiped out. And the first thing I thought was, you know, what are these people going to do? I mean, how are they going to survive? There's nothing left. People that can't get to the store, haven't gotten to the store. So at that point, I had thought that we were going to be shut down. Governor had already announced that there was going to be a shutdown, and I had no thought of being one of the businesses allowed to stay open. I didn't consider myself essential. I know coffee is essential, you know, but really, seriously, you can get coffee anywhere. You can get sandwiches anywhere. But we were thankful to be able to stay open, and we were able to help out by bringing in, as you said, lots of supplies and lots of basic necessities that people really needed and couldn't get. So we're all very proud of that. You know, when I started this business, I started it because it was my dream. I didn't really realize it, but many people had told me that I had talked about it for many years. So in essence, I am living the dream, even though sometimes it feels kind of like a nightmare. But I really enjoy what I'm doing. I just I don't consider myself anything special, or I just consider myself doing my job. And I mean, the people that work here are the real heroes. They stuck through the whole thing. And I'd like to just give them some recognition. There's Karen, who's been here for 20 years. She was actually here for about 6 months before I even started. There's Dulce, there's Chelsea, there's Mariana, and there's Adoxine. It's a core crew, and they all worked through this COVID, which we're still working through. But at that time, it was really scary. I mean, we just felt like we were almost taking our lives in our hands. So it was quite an experience. It was very interesting to watch it evolve and watch how everything kept sort of evolving and moving and growing, and still is. And hopefully we can just get a vaccine and put this all behind us. But I also especially wanted to thank really the residents of Sudbury. All really stepped up. A lot of people would come in here and give huge tips and buy gift cards, and you know, there was just such an outpouring of support. There's a couple people I'd like to mention in particular. One is getting another award tonight, Bill Spencer, who pretty much gave me carte blanche to serve the police and fire departments for an extended period of time, which really helped me out in one of the slower periods that we experienced here. And there was also a Sudbury resident, Gabrielle Henkin, who started, I wouldn't call it a GoFundMe page, but she organized a page where she had every restaurant listed, so you could, you know, any resident could buy gift cards to all the businesses, and that helped a lot of different businesses. So I just am really overwhelmed by this award. I'm really humbled by it. You know, I go through life without really seeking recognition, and this is really, really special to me. You know, I want to give a special thanks to Charlie Dunn and Martha, who helped me, you know, sort of get my act together with the computer here and figure it all out. I'm not really much of a Zoom guy, but and I'm not much of a talker, as you can see, but I would like to say, you know, thank you to everybody here, all the members of the chamber who do give so much time and effort and of their own time. And thank you all. And This is something I will never forget. It's sort of the icing on the cake for me. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dan. Yay.
Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to bring up our producer extraordinaire, Stuart Beebe of Stuart Beebe Photography.
But I'd like to introduce now the business person of the year, and it's my honor to introduce Marissa. Now, Marissa is the owner of Healing Point Therapeutics in Mill Village. She's an acupuncturist and hypnotherapist who works with a cadre of very loyal clients. She's been in business for 10 years and she moved to Sudbury 2 years ago. She believes that communications and connections are the cornerstone of her success. Finding ways to connect with her other areas of business, she hosts a series of events in which she invites other businesses and holistic practitioners to educate participants. Earlier this year, she was recognized for this in the Boston Globe article. And when we contacted Marissa about winning this award, her immediate reaction was, this is the best thing that happened in 2020. So I'd like to really welcome and put your hands together, please, now for Marissa Finelli. I'll hand over to you now, Marissa.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to thank everyone who nominated me for this. It really is the best thing that happened to me in 2020, and I'm so incredibly appreciative. I'm so proud to be a part of this Sudbury community. My business is an extension of my soul, and this is the type of space where my soul thrives. It's a space where I really feel such a sense of acceptance and a sense of connection. My business, as Stuart said, I'm an acupuncturist and a hypnotherapist, and it's amazing to be a part of the healing and transformation process of all of my clients that come in. But it goes beyond healing, and what my business, what I love about it the most is that there's such a sense of connection and community that happens here, and that's where the real magic is. Any business can only shine as brightly as the people it serves. And my business shines not because of me, but because of the collective energy of the incredible people who support Healing Point Therapeutics every day. It isn't the easy times that dictate the fiber of a community. It's the difficult times that display what you're truly made of. And these times of COVID have shown me that this is a town that's really filled with caring and generous, selfless people who step up to the plate when times get tough. I've been so incredibly touched by the influx of endless support from my neighbors and my clients since COVID hit. And, when my worst imaginings happened and I had to close this summer, I was actually kind of calm. And I realized later that it's because I have such faith that this is my purpose in life, what I'm doing. And when you have, when you know that you're living your purpose, you always feel like you're taken care of, and sometimes in ways you can't even imagine. I never for a moment, even in the worst of it, I never believed that this was going to destroy what I had created. And I always felt really held and supported by this community. Small businesses create a resonance in the spaces where they're built, and this resonance radiates outward into the collective. Small businesses are bigger than what they do within their four walls. They catalyze change by having the power to influence, and I do not take this responsibility lightly. If my business can influence the nature of the environment around it, I consider it my duty to ensure that what I'm putting out into the world is a positive force for change. And in this spirit, over the years, I've hosted many events for various causes, and the residents of Sudbury have always gone so far above and beyond when it comes to taking care of those who are struggling in the community. Last year, for example, I set up a collection for gifts for children in foster care, and not only did we get gifts for all of the kids on the list, everyone was contacting me nonstop to ask me what could they do, how could they do more, how could they give more. By the time the gifts were due to be collected, you could barely squeeze into my waiting room. It was absolutely incredible. Being a part of this town serves as inspiration for me to continue to bring my business to new heights. And every time I experience the magic of what Sudbury is capable of, it sparks my desire to become a greater part of this community. There's so many awesome, amazing businesses in this town and some really powerhouse business owners. I'm honored to be considered one of them. As we continue to adapt to the new normal of COVID, it's imperative that we work together to support each other and to lift each other up. a rising tide lifts all ships. And one thing that I've always believed is that there is no competition. Every business is a reflection of the internal world of the person who's created it. By virtue of that, it can't be replicated. And when one business suffers, we suffer together, but when we rise together as well. I'm looking forward to, continuing to do things, big things in the Sudbury community. And I just want to thank everyone who's nominated me and who's supported my business and myself throughout COVID. And I'm sure together we're all going to get through this. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Very beautifully said, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I now call on Kathy Winston, who is a CPA in Sudbury and longtime treasurer of the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce, to make our next introduction.
Thank you, Martha. I have the distinct honor to introduce a friend and longtime Sudbury Chamber of Commerce member for the Distinguished Service Award, which is given to an active member of the Chamber. Bill Spencer of Spencer Financial is perhaps our community's most unsung asset. We all know Bill as a trusted financial advisor to his many clients. Tonight, we recognize him as a committed contributor to our community. He was recently appointed to the Board of Trustees at the Sudbury Foundation, where he helps to provide funding and advice to local nonprofits. He is a youth soccer and lacrosse coach and serves on the board of Sudbury Youth Lacrosse. Professionally, he is active on the $1 Million Round Table Foundation, which provides large grants to worthy causes, and his company actively supports local causes, including Hope Sudbury, Smile Mass, Fund for Wounded Warriors, Surf, and many more. Please join me in thanking and honoring Bill Spencer, who is accepting live from his office. Bill?
Wow. Thank you, Kathy, and thank you to the board of the Sudbury Chamber for this really flattering recognition. Over here is a beautiful basket that I got from Duck Soup, another awesome business in town. So thank you to them. And congratulations to the other winners today, the Williamson family, Dan, Marissa, Ray, Deborah, who I've followed through the Sudbury Foundation. She's doing amazing things in town. I was flattered when I heard I was getting an award the year after Louis Steffen got this award. When you talk about distinguished service in our town and to the chamber, Louis was the epitome of that as a longtime president. He's also a great friend of mine and my realtor who helped me sell and buy a house during COVID this year. He's the man, so thanks, Louis. At Spencer Financial, my business partner, Sam Baldwin, and I have tried to create a culture of giving. We've got a team of 6 people, and we encourage our team to come to us with ideas, not just so that we can potentially contribute money, but also our time. And I thought the best use of my time today might be to mention the charities. Kathy mentioned some of them that we support, but there are these amazing organizations locally that we've tried to put our weight behind. Hope Sudbury is one, Smile Mass, Sudbury for Wounded Warriors, the Sudbury Family Network, the Lieutenant Scott Milley Ranger Foundation, LS Boosters, Surf, Mass Mentoring, Doc Wayne, and particularly I wanted to recognize Bethany Hadvab, our town social worker, who also does really amazing things. And I would encourage you all to look her up as we enter the holiday season because she always provides a really amazing service in town at that time. So I'll end by saying I didn't join the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce to promote my business. I joined to learn from and meet really great business owners in town and to collaborate. And Dan Ken at Sudbury Coffee Works gave an example of that early in April. I had the idea, I could tell that our police and fire in town were overextended and it was just a wild time. And I have lunch at Sudbury Coffee Works almost every day. I see the police and fire department in and out of there. And so I wanted to recognize their service. And so I went to Dan and asked if he and his team could help provide meals for a couple weeks on our firm. And it was really well received. Their team over there is incredible. Thank you to the Sudbury Police and Fire for what they've done this year. And this is my point. I hope we can find other ways to collaborate with other members in the chamber to help our community. There's incredible businesses and incredible need in our town. And again, I really appreciate the recognition. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, and congratulations on a well-deserved award. We all know 2020 is presenting us as individuals and business people with significant challenges. We've heard some tonight. The Sudbury Chamber recognizes this year with a one-time category, we hope it's one time, called Sudbury Strong, to applaud a significant response to the pressing needs of this time. As the Chamber reviewed many worthy nominations in this category, we saw clearly that many in our wonderful town have committed great acts of kindness and support. We've heard several of those tonight, and thank you all and to the many others who are not being recognized tonight for the wonderful contributions to our community. Our Sudbury Strong 2020 winner is Deborah Oppenheimer from the Sudbury Community Food Pantry, located at Our Lady of Fatima Church. When the pandemic hit, Deb was serving in 2 volunteer roles, operations manager and interim executive director. Even before the state requirements were issued, she adapted the food pantry's policies and procedures to protect volunteers and customers. She worked creatively to secure PPE and cleaning supplies, and she met the challenges of recruiting and training new volunteers, as many of the regulars are older adults and at greater risk of contracting the virus. As the supply chain broke, it became harder to purchase food from the Greater Boston Food Bank. And so she organized and developed partnerships with many others in the community. And as you know, there were numerous food drives held in this town to meet the growing demands. One nominator stated, quote, "Without Deb's creativity, forethought, advocacy, and determination, the pantry would not have been able to serve the increased needs during this period. She personally has sacrificed so much to ensure that her neighbors had adequate access to food and resources when they deeply, deeply needed it. For that, we say a very big Sudbury Strong to you, Deborah Oppenheimer." Deb is accepting live from her home.
Thank you very much for all those lovely words. For the last 6 or 7 years, I've really poured my heart and soul into the food pantry. But as my husband and Bethany know, in the early months of the pandemic into June, that was sometimes 12 to 16 hours a day. And I did it quietly and for the benefit of all those in the greater community who needed to use the food pantry. Notwithstanding that, I really thank everybody involved for the recognition and for this wonderful award. Having to quickly, but there are a couple of people that I want to thank first. The first is Father Sousa, who enabled the pantry to stay open even when the parish was closed for public mass. Our wonderful town social worker, Bethany, who is always there to provide help and do it with a smile. And my husband, Cliff. Having to quickly convert the pantry into a contactless outdoor drive-through operation that continued to let our clients choose the items that they wanted while they still couldn't get out of their car and kept everybody, volunteers and clients, safe was not easy. But instead of having a pool of about 12 volunteers who could register our clients, by the end of March, we had literally 0. And so my husband stepped up, and for 2.5 months, he was at the pantry every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, volunteering to register clients and to teach new volunteers how to do the job. I also want to thank Chris Goff, another Sudbury resident, who agreed to change his pre-pandemic volunteering obligations with Open Table and spent every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon at the pantry, and still does, to enable the distribution of groceries. Finally, I want to thank the entirety of the Sudbury community. By late March, we had very, very few volunteers who were willing and able to pack groceries. So I reached out to the community and a whole bunch of new volunteers showed up. And without complaint, they worked much harder and longer shifts than was needed by the pre-pandemic volunteers. Other Sudbury residents volunteered to work with Sudbury Neighborhood Brigade, which among other things enabled some of our clients to get home deliveries of pantry groceries. Moreover, without needing to do any fundraising or grant writing, financial contributions just streamed in. It was amazing. It was inspiring. But like Martha said, it was also April and May. The pantry had never been as busy as it had during those 2 months. In April, we actually had 114 new clients. And at the same time, the food chain was broken. And as you saw, supermarket shelves were empty in a way none of us had ever experienced before. So despite having sufficient funds, I was unable to get enough bulk groceries through Greater Boston, online shopping, and all the local supermarkets. So I reached out to the community again with Bethany's help. And within just a few weeks, we reaped the benefit of 6 church organized food drives, school drives, local neighborhood food drives, and to this date, continuing overflowing bins at Sudbury Farms. Without that generosity from our community, particularly while the supermarkets took time to recover, we couldn't have kept our shelves filled for all the clients that we saw. In wrapping up, I've been working at the food pantry, volunteering at the food pantry for about 11 years. I have always worked directly with the clients, no matter how many other responsibilities I took on. I know how important the food pantry is to our clients and to many of our long-term volunteers, even though they have not been able to volunteer since mid-March. But what was made very clear to me during the pandemic was just how much supporting our food pantry means to our community. And for that, I'm profoundly grateful, and once again say thanks.
Thank you, Deborah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Finally, I turn to Teresa Rosen, the owner of Prudence Financial, and a member of the board of the chamber, to make our last award.
Thank you, Martha. I want to congratulate Ray Phillips, president of Protect Sudbury. He is our 2020 Citizen of the Year, and he is a dedicated community leader who is deeply appreciated by the Sudbury business community and residents for his incredible commitment to lead the fight against Eversource's intent to use the MBTA right-of-way for unnecessary and destructive transmission lines across wetlands along the Sudbury River. Since early 2016, Ray has attended hearings and meetings, raised funds for legal battles, and rallied the town leadership to join the fight, and kept our community informed and engaged. When asked about this goal, he says, quote, "Stop the project, period." He's very determined to take it as far as possible and generally optimistic. He's quick to credit the many others in the town who are active in the Protect Sudbury movement. I am honored to present our 2020 Citizen of the Year, Ray Phillips, who is accepting live from his home. Congratulations, Ray.
Thanks very much, Teresa, and good evening. I really like to humbly thank the Chamber for this recognition. It's truly an honor to be named Citizen of the Year. It was really heartening, and also I want to recognize all the other winners tonight, and it's really heartening to get the initial award to the Boy Scout leader. I am an Eagle Scout, and about 25 years ago, my dad received a similar award, so I know I'm in good company. When asked about the meaning of citizenship, Theodore Roosevelt once said, "If freedom is worth having, and if the right of self-government is a valuable right, then both must be retained exactly as our forefathers acquired them. That is through hard work, and especially through hard work in organization, with citizens who have the same interests and the same principles. As president of Protect Sudbury, I've had a unique opportunity to understand and fully appreciate the meaning of President Roosevelt's words. I think you'd agree that the value of freedom, the freedoms afforded to us, and the right of self-government is indisputable, but they can be easily taken for granted and eroded through complacency. I've come to appreciate the duties and obligations that come with these rights and how important it is to exercise those rights. I've also experienced firsthand the power of organization, as he put it, and the incredible power of working with citizens having the same interests and the same guiding principles. It has been a valuable lesson to me in citizenship. Protect Sudbury was formed in direct response to an agreement made behind closed doors that would have an everlasting effect on our town. An agreement made between state government and a multi-billion-dollar corporation that failed to include the interests of the communities that would be most impacted by it. It was clear that our community didn't have a voice and would need to speak up. Protect Sudbury is perhaps known for our focus on the protection of our natural and developed environment. However, beneath the surface of our advocacy in these areas also lies the deep commitment to protect this fundamental right of self-governance. One of the defining rights, what it means to be a citizen in a free country. Fueled by this belief, Protect Sudbury has already effected positive change on the potential outcome of the proposed project. However, much hard work still remains. I'm confident that our community can continue the fight through to a successful conclusion. The most rewarding part of my role has been in working with and becoming friends with so many talented citizens who indeed share the same interests and principles and passion for our mission. It's my honor to point out these amazing members of our community and recognize a community spirit that's unlike anything I've ever experienced. For me, the journey itself is the reward. Therefore, tonight's recognition must also go to the members of the Protect Sudbury community, both individuals and local businesses who have supported our advocacy with generous measures of their time, treasure, and talents. Countless volunteers who have contributed thousands of hours of their time, doing everything from running lemonade stands with their kids, holding signs in the town center, handing thousands of hand stamping thousands of envelopes for mailings, producing high quality informational videos, attending countless meetings, personally delivering materials across the town, and even arranging to be featured on Chronicle and in other TV news and electronic media. In particular, I want to mention the individuals that make up what we like to call the working group of Protect Sudbury. These are the volunteers that have worked tirelessly during these 4.5 years on making sure that our community's voice is indeed heard. It is this dedication and hard work that I have experienced firsthand and that compels me to work even harder for our community and to give back and pay forward my gratitude to being part of this community for over 30 years. Finally, I'd like to thank my family for their support and encouragement, and in particular, my lovely wife, Dee. So thank you guys for the award, and I really appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you, Ray. And Ray, you may not know this or maybe you do know this, but one of the privileges of being Citizen of the Year is you get to be parade marshal for the 2021 4th of July parade, which is going to be our best parade ever. So that should be a fun time. So you got to start planning now. So thank you. Congratulations to all our nominees and winners. Thank you for participating in tonight. And please join us for our monthly meetings, which are for now are on Zoom. I do want to apologize. We had some Facebook difficulties tonight. We will be able to, you will be able to see this shortly on the chamber website. It will be a video there so you can see this and everybody's presentation. That should be on there hopefully tomorrow. Again, apologize for the Facebook technology problems. And that's all. Thank you so much and enjoy your evening. And Steve's going to end this with some music. Steve, come on up.
This song's called Friendly the Ocean. Hopefully it'll make you thinking about, yeah, get the ocean thing back up there. There we go. Okay. Sun resets at horizon's edge. The sands return with the tides. A fire glows, cool air descends, twilight on the seaside. Distant, a buoy bell, a halyards ring. Seagulls boast someone's name. Another log, another song to sing. A melody rises from the flames. They're all so polite, said the sailor to the sea. Thank you, Martha, for hanging out. Distant laughter bar keeps closing down. Skippers call it a night. The ebb and flow of a coastal town. The bay reflects morning light. Friendly the ocean, lovely the tide. Shores caressed by the sand. Fresh air's the potion, waves the rhyme. Spirit on the islands. Said the sailor to the sea. Said the sailor to the sea.